you're going to go back down to Group Nirvana.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it feels a little doomer to say, because obviously there's still playoffs for Split 3. Obviously, Nirvana teams are still going to qualify for it. But it feels close to your season ending to go down to Group Nirvana. Like, it's not all the way there, but the lower volume of games, the likelihood of being able to make a run from that position of the play-in stage, the quality of opponents, it's such a long shot. It's such a ridiculous long shot. It's so hard to imagine a team making a run like that. Meanwhile, if you win here and you get to just go and play like a middling Group Ascend split, that's super doable.
Okay, WE get first pick. They're going to go for the Jarvan, another champion that has been consistently seen on the ban table, and something that still allows for Monki to be aggressive and make really high impact plays. I think that's why we saw the Lee Sin kind of fall off a little bit, is generally the champion needs to be really strong in the early game to have a presence, and we didn't really see that, or at least LNG were able to punish. Now we're just getting the, as Riot likes to call them, the brothers, their friends, Xin Zhao and Jarvan, hanging out as enemies here in this game. I wonder if we're going to get any enchanters, because that kind of makes me want to play as Xin Zhao a lot more.
Well, got these two gentlemen crossing spears once again as they do load on to the Rift for game number 3. This feels like a game number 1 draft, not going to lie, because of how strong these two junglers are and have been, but just sliding their way through the picks and bans thus far. There's going to be the Bard locked on in for missing. No Ezreal to pair it with this time around, but what will they go for with it? We'll have to find out.
Oh, Varus made it on through. We saw the Skarner actually is the one that got banned by LNG. Instead, potentially, they're going to be the ones that get Varus. I think that's really, really strong. Not only is just a takeaway, but this is a champion. We're talking about the safety that the champion drafts have been for about. He's going to be at such a long range. Against the Bard, against the Xin Zhao, this could be a very good boon for them.
Yeah, really strong laning champion here for about. It's been banned most of the series, so when I was calling out, you know, there's not a lot of safe and secure laning AD carries left for him. That was assuming that the Varus ban would be kept. It has not been, so they get themselves into that position in the draft once again, and the Nico to go alongside it. Going to be a nice, powerful engager for Erha, and it's going to secure them the double-ranged bot lane. 1xN looking at the Sivir, going to potentially scale into this. Spell Shield has a lot of value against this lane.
Yeah, it is going to be a bit more punished versus the Jarvan. It seems like WE really want to play an all-out style where Jarvan is constantly getting into this backline, disrupting their ability to deal damage. And Sivir, as long as she doesn't go down or she doesn't die within the first, I would say, 8 to 10 minutes, I think you're really happy about your game, because you're just going to be able to infinitely wave clear versus the Varus, and like you mentioned, the Spell Shield is going to get a lot of value, so already LNG are kind of trending towards being the team that is going to have a lot more advantages as the game timer ticks up.
Yep. They're going to get the next snap at a champion as well. They're going to have to blind one of their solo laners. They choose to ban away the Azir, which is interesting. I would have thought that would be on the short list for what to blind, but perhaps more interested in blinding for the likes of Sheer, perhaps looking towards something else in the mid lane department. Powerful picks that are still up and available. The Aurora still sitting around there. Stuff like the Jace, which has not been a huge Sheer champion, but has been a big priority around global League of Legends professional play. Mel banned away as well.
Mel and Azir almost kind of screamed to me that for LNG, we probably want to be playing like Xin Zhao Ahri coming up. Ahri is also a champion that does somewhat well into Jarvan. Is not really a champion that Jarvan wants to get involved with early or at any point and can stop him in the middle of his flag and drag. For WE, we've spent a lot of time in the first 2 games prioritizing top jungle and mid in the first 3. Now we are getting counterpick coming on through for the solo lanes. What are our priorities going to look like? Is this really going to be a TF? I don't think we have side lanes that are volatile enough to support this champion.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, you can say this is here to support our Sivir. This is here to make 100% sure. But, I mean, I guess you can create a volatile top lane as well. The Renekton going to be the blind for Cube. What's the craziest thing Sheer could take into this Renekton?
His Jax is banned. His Jace is banned. I mean, you could play Gwen. Gwen is a volatile kind
play
of
like Yorick,
matchup.
I guess.
You can play Kennen. Kennen's actually not bad this game.
Ooh, I kind of like the Kennen. I like what you're thinking there. It's not a pick that we've seen out of Sheer yet this year. Instead, it's going to be the Zehen. So 2 versions of Xin Zhao on the same team. Lore broken in half.
Oh, God. I don't know how I'm going to be able to focus. There's the Zehen. There's Xin Zhao. Jarvan's going to have to deal with all the inner turmoil of looking at this draft. And for WE, they have a decent enough front line with Renekton, who's basically going to be a bruiser later on. Something that will be a reoccurring theme is kind of damage thresholds. So WE have a lot of burst. If Aurora gets multiple rotations of spells, Varus the same thing. You can actually take down opponents, and Nico can be kind of a helper with that. But if they fall behind, you're really not going to have that damage. And for LNG, the moment I think this team starts to kind of get down in the damage departments, you are never killing anybody. Like, Zehen takes a long time to kill some of these champions. Twisted Fate needs at least 3 items before he's dealing any real damage.
Yeah, a lot put onto 1xN's shoulders, but he is no stranger to playing that role for LNG this year.
Correct.
A lot of faith being placed onto him once again. He's going to have to survive what's going to be a pretty tough laning phase up against the Varus Nico. Want to see if the game plan for this Twisted Fate may just be to be able to consistently shadow and make sure that those dives don't end up coming through. Definitely going to be expecting Croco to be on bot lane duty as he has been through much of the season and through much of the series.
Here we go. We're getting into game number 3 here. Match point, not match point, but at least 1 apiece for both of these teams. And one where BuLLDog's presence in this game is going to be felt, whether that is a lack of or him actually being all over the map with this Twisted Fate. Very important to see what he does and which lane we see LNG decide is the most important one for this Twisted Fate to be in.
It is going to be a lot of flexibility for BuLLDog as far as where he wants to go. Not a clear direction here, but could definitely swing either of these matchups if the situation does present itself. Can roam around alongside this Bard as well. I'm sure we're going to see him pairing up with the Missing quite a bit this game. The laning phase will kick on off. Topside starts for both junglers, so they're both making their way down towards this bottom lane. They both know where their bread is buttered.
Wow, this Bard is taking so much damage early on. Double Comet, which did get reworked on a previous patch. We saw that the damage is now more based on how far away the spell that hits you is, and
yeah,
ends up dealing a lot towards Missing. Already have to chug some of those pots early on. Jarvan is a champion that can cross the river early, so maybe going to be looking towards Monki to get a little bit active, get a little bit crazy, and cross the line, get into some invades. We see a lot of vision from LNG just to protect their bottom side.
Yeah, DFT really got the highlight, but Nork and Comet goes crazy, man. You get a 75% damage boost if you're far enough away. You don't even really have to be that far. It's like 750 range or something like that. It's like a little bit farther than Caitlyn's auto range. It's not too difficult to do, especially, you know, if you're Varus throwing out Qs, if you're Nico throwing out a Blooming Burst and then walking away, that can do it as well. It's super doable if you're able to get one of those far off blasts. And you know, despite some early laning woes, 1xN will be able to tie up about in CS, and they get off a nice early recall that it doesn't look like it's going to be too possible for about Erha to punish.
Yeah, they decided we're not going to recall, we're going to be stuck underneath our turret. The call for 1xN just feels like they know if we get to 30 minutes and we are at least within 3,000 gold of our opponents, we are extremely happy with the game state. We know that we're going to be getting into these later state of the game. Roll quest plus Cole means that Sivir is going to, in my opinion, is probably going to hit second and third item just a little bit quicker than her opponents. And typically, Varus is a champion with the poke variant. He's going to have a lot cheaper items as well.
Erha has left bot lane for the time being, is looking to secure a double crab for Monki. I think everybody knows what's going on. Everybody saw that caster minion that arrived separate from the rest of the wave and moved horizontally across mid lane. I think LNG should be able to put the pieces together there. So Croco gonna get double crabbed, gonna fall a little bit behind Monki in this early phase. Nice early clearing on the Jarvan, good taking advantage of Karis' mid lane priority on this Aurora.
The only thing I will say in advantage of Erha crossing through mid like that is that if you're being lazy and you're just looking at the minimap, you're like, oh, it's just a minion. I can't actually see a big Nico on my screen here, so. Looks like some punish as well, but game's even for right now, and kind of my immediate thought is, where are we going to see Jarvan impact? Because Jarvan can actually just full clear. I know it's not everybody's favorite activity for him to partake in, but he is a champion that definitely has a lot of use cases, particularly with a low range composition or low mobility composition from LNG. I mean, Twisted Fate, Sivir, they're not going to be able to get outside of this Cataclysm if they don't have Flash.
Yep, dangerous territory for them this game. Need to be constantly fearing that really long range engage possibility that the Jarvan does bring to the table. Missing still taking so much abuse in this bottom lane. We got to see the back end of him taking a rough trade, trying to return back to lane. Locked down by Erha and then sniped away by About. They're just dumping a lot of damage into this Bard. Does mean that 1xN is able to kind of step up with impunity, but got to be careful to not overforce your hand for missing here, as they are just going to have to take another pretty conservative recall, at least missing Will. They're actually going to leave 1xN there for now.
And this has been a good adaptation we've seen from most Varuses when they're playing into the Sivir. We'll hold this. Oh,
gonna have to flash away. Here comes the Destiny, nice and early. Just tick level 6 flash after from Croco, and Erha's got nowhere left to go. LNG, first blood to Croco once again.
Well, I asked, you need volatile solo lanes or side lanes when you're playing Twisted Fate, and I'm not going to say that Sivir Bard usually have hands like that, but it's a Nico. You can just tag her and she dies instantly. So good job from LNG to open up that kill, and definitely feels very, very good for their win condition as this game goes later.
Sivir Bard don't have hands like that. They have no KP. They were not a part of the play at all. It's just BuLLDog and Croco making the pick all on their own. Great job, though, by BuLLDog. Finds a great window for it as well. Doesn't lose a turret play to Karis. Doesn't lose anything for his time. And is going to be able to get back to lane and continue on farming. Monki is going to take advantage of the bot side reset to be able to pick up this first dragon. And there will be a turret plate going About's way. So will be a slight advantage to this Varus Nico for it, but LNG do secure the gold lead.
Feels good. I mean, this is where now the leads that we were seeing early start to kind of break apart. Croco, all of his gold is essentially the kill that he got, and BuLLDog is going to leverage the TF passive and this plate and the assist. So as we get later here, Gordo, what I want to posit to the audience, hold this.
Lockdown found on a missing. He has to flash out. Stays alive at sub 100 HP, and 1xN looking to keep the trade going. Goes up the spell shield a little bit late, but he just has the damage to take down About. Bouncing boomerangs between both targets. 1xN says, give me those odds. 1 versus 2. 1xN claims a double.
Hey, we said the Sivir Bard has no hands. It looks like 1xN decided, I'll clap him up right now. I'll take that for free. And, by the way, with the triple tonic here, uses the adaptive force potion, so he's just getting so much damage out. Massive win coming in for LNG, and finally, I think, a moment where we got to see this 1xN missing duo lane actually take their opponents in the lane.
Yeah, really, really good stuff there from 1xN. Just knows his limits, knows that you guys have been pumping damage into my support all laning phase long, and you forgot who's dishing out the damage in this 2 versus 2. Surprised that it's the Sivir this soon, but knows those thresholds and will come on out here. In fact, closer than it should have been. 1xN did not successfully block an ability with his spell shield, so he lost out on some health there.
I have been one of the, we had some other color casters on the show, and they did my pet peeve when we're talking about Sivir. They're like, oh, Sivir is really weak in lane, and she doesn't do anything. I'm like, no. You try to fight this champion in a minion wave, and she blows your entire house up. She just throws a W, and you're never fighting her. And we got to see that level 1 earlier on this game, and here, the boomerang blades alongside those the Q. I mean, that was really, really good stuff from 1xN. And now, I mean, they're losing out, but I mean, look at the objectives here. LNG are trading gold on the map right now in their carries, but it's 3 grubs again here for WE. It's the first dragon of the game for them, so maybe more of the you know, WE go down 1,000 gold and we come back later in the mid-game.
I mean, that's the other thing about the Sivir, right, is Boomerang Blade hits hard if you take it going out and coming back. And a nice little Cosmic Binding there from Missing. Force is about to do just that, and just like that, he's at half HP, and he's going to recall and TP back because of it.
Looks like he'll be fine for now. This is a really good lead, but I keep saying this, we need to see more. What else can we get from the Sivir? What else can we get from BuLLDog? He has his ultimate again. Is there a lane that we could try to attack? I mean, we now know that About has no TP. Could we maybe try to get his flash on the next recall from Croco? Because he's going to have his Sundered Sky coming up soon. It's going to be a very big win, and we can continue to snowball these leads here. 1,500 gold for LNG and a 3-0 lead at 9.5 minutes.
I'm very surprised how much time Missing has spent in bottom lane so far. We'll see if that starts to change now as he redeploys towards mid. BuLLDog's got Destiny back up, and, you know, this support mid duo, if they do anything, they roam around the map and make, you know, plays on unexpected angles. I expect to see them try to do that somewhat, especially with how much Cube has been pushing up top lane. They do spot out where Monki is on this control board, so that's going to be step number 1. See if they can piece themselves together any maneuvers around the map. BuLLDog looking to recall here, though. He might... I mean, there's no way this guy is on Rod of Ages yet, but at least getting some components. Oh, he is.
Top
He's got Rod of
point.
Ages.
Wow, 10.5 minutes. Okay, that's really, really good. That means 20 minutes. We're going to be seeing this Rod of Ages tick over.
Loaded
if my
dice
math
is
is
crazy.
right, yeah, if my math is right, he should be around level 14 once it kind of finishes. So he'll be in a really good spot as this game goes on. I wish your point about topside, about like junglers going top, was real in solo queue, because every time I try to play top lane, I'm playing like a psychopath in front of the enemy, and suddenly the jungler's there. I'm like, if this is pro play, there's no jungler in my lane. Well, what is this? What's going on here?
Infuriating, as always, but coming through. Nice little magical journey to get to lane faster from Missing, and once again, it looks like these junglers are interested in making action around the bottom lane. 1xN, public enemy number 1 for WE now, after that early double kill. And looking around at this dragon that is about to spawn, would be a 2-dragon lead for WE if they were able to secure it. Is there going to be interest from LNG in challenging?
It's tough. They can't enter. I mean, Twisted Fate is a champion that usually is okay with having lanes that are pushing against him, because you can just roam, or you can use the ultimate to get across. There's a dragon here for WE. I mean, LNG, they took maybe a little too much time trying to push that last wave, because About and Erha just get to come back in time and clear it. So, second dragon, and all LNG have to show for it is a 2,000 gold lead right now.
Yep. Perhaps would have liked to be able to challenge that one. Did not, of course, throw away any lives for it, though, so they do maintain their gold lead. Really, interesting look from Croco there. Spent a lot of time hanging out in the bottom lane before channeling his recall. Just wanted to see if there would be an opportunity to make a play there with Missing's Tempered Fate, but it does not present itself. And now they're going to rotate these mid laners, or sorry, these bot laners towards mid, these mid laners towards bot. And BuLLDog still without a second Destiny cast so far this game. My eyes continue to be on him and where he can find an opportunity to make some chaos and create plays for LNG.
You know, Gordo, looking at the inventories, I think I know why Croco decided not to go for that. Monki had his upgraded smite. And he's like, oh, I'm not contesting that. That is a smite I'm not winning. Maybe if it was game 1 still and we had that insane smite steal, I can't believe that was the start of the series. I still can't believe that. But he's like, we're not gonna do it again. I don't have the same ability to get over the walls as we did with Wukong. So we're getting those lane swaps now. Aurora's going to be matching Twisted Fate, but anytime there is damage in mid lane onto About or Erha, or if Erha decides actually I'm going to step onto these wards, I think that Xin Zhao plus Twisted Fate could punish him like we saw earlier on. So the support of WE definitely needs to be a lot careful about what enemy vision he shows on.
Interesting that you call it jungler inventories there. Croco also going for the Titanic Hydra Xin Zhao this game. So wants those quick Qs, wants that auto reset. be able to get that knock up just a little bit faster. Just fully emphasizes that LNG's comp all about locking down targets. For Sivir primarily, maybe Zahen secondarily. Between BuLLDog and Croco and Missing, they have plenty of tools to be able to do just that. If they are able to find angles on the members of WE, as you keep pointing out, haven't been the most volatile of lanes so far, other than bot lane, maybe with a little bit of an unforced error. LNG have got to get creative to be able to find these plays.
I'll give you a bone here. Your call out for the loaded dice for Twisted Fate, that is quite disgusting. He is down 10 CS. He has an assist, so it'll make up some of that. But he's up 800 gold, and he got 2 plates mid. Like, this is just no way. That's insane.
Perhaps flavorfully so. This guy is just cheating, man. He's literally getting more gold from every minion, and it is stacking up over time. It is pseudo-random, but it pretty much just averages out every game. He's just generating gold. He must have cashback or something. No, he doesn't, because he's in Resolve secondary.
Yeah.
So, no.
He's just the GOAT.
Not even cashback, not even triple tonic. My man is just rolling those dice.
He's figured out a way to squeeze more gold per minion than other champions. And Riot decided 80 carries get to do that with cannons this season with the role quest. So glad to see that there's still a champion in the game that gets to break the rules. Those are usually the best champions of the game in niche spots sometimes. But Herald's going to get started. This will be the first neutral objective we'll see from LNG if they get this. BuLLDog is already moving. There's also a TP available here from Karis, but you would be late to join in comparison.
Herald's going to be Croco on it first. Erha throwing out a clone just for a little bit of vision. TP in. Karis has arrived. Might be a full 5-on-5. They're going to look to try to pull the trigger onto Q. BuLLDog has popped Destiny. Has full vision of everything that is going on. Does not take the teleport. In goes Monki going for the steal. Croco going to be able to secure it, but nobody getting on top of the eye. No way this happens twice in one series. Melted down first is going to be Croco. Flash in from Sheer. Picking up the eye while he's at it. 1xN chasing down his counterpart. Will end up falling down in the back half of the fight. And already more members of LNG have bitten it. Revive coming on through from Sheer. Going to be taking round 2, but this time with a bigger number deficit. Karis will be able to clean him up. WE play out the fight better. 4 for 2. It is the Rift Herald picked up by Sheer.
He gets it in the end, so the first objective taken here by LNG. The Herald is really nice. We've seen Herald and the changes that they made this season to be essentially a battle bus. You can take it to the next dragon and disrupt everything, or still use it for what it's meant to do, which is destroy structures. That was a rather chaotic fight. I thought, almost like you, that they were just going to collapse onto Cube. But maybe because Dominus is up, they decide that's not going to be the case. Croco lands a masterful smite here, and Erha with this ultimate is just huge. The fact that Sheer isn't caught with it thanks to buffering his ult is great, but I'm also watching Cube just completely zone off 1xN from being able to deal any damage.
Good job by Sheer to be able to find, isolate, and take down a bout in that fight as well. But WE, really good execution, really taking advantage of how strong the Renekton is at this point in the game. Cube does so much to keep 1xN from being able to really utilize the power of the Sivir. Still plenty of scaling left to go, but WE get themselves a 3rd dragon while we were in that replay, and are now on soul point.
I don't like this, Gordo. I don't like this one bit if I'm LNG. I do not want to be down 3 dragons, but that's kind of the nature of the composition. Twisted Fate, his wave clear gets better as he gets more items. Sivir, we talk about her every single time, but her ability to wave clear is also great. And like I mentioned, if we're at like a 25-30 minutes and LNG are not massively behind, they are okay with that. But right now we are, I think, a little bit behind the 8 ball. I need to see them continue to compound their leads. And the game is even when it comes to gold. It's just spread out all over the place. Actually, Karis cut into that with so many kills in that last fight.
Yeah, you definitely don't mind being at close to gold parity if you are this LNG team comp. Yeah. You mind the dragons a lot more, though. That's putting the timer on your game right there. So they would trade 1,000 gold for a dragon right now if they could, I'll tell you that much. But
I would.
Yeah, you take that deal?
Give me the briefcase right now. I'm slamming yes on that briefcase.
But no such offers being made. LNG instead going to have to try to make good on... Actually, they used the Herald already. That's interesting. So Sheer not going to have that.
Oh yeah, it was in mid lane. It was in mid lane.
Yeah,
that's
so they just get a couple of plates for it, but not going to claim any towers, and not going to have it as a tool to maybe try to disrupt a dragon fight or something of that nature.
Wow. I gotta say, Gordo, despite how this game has kind of turned out, this is, I think, maybe the weirdest game we have played tonight, for sure.
I agree.
This is a strange game. We've got some champions that are definitely not super meta, particularly Zehen. Zehen has... I don't know what they did to this champion between Split 1 and Split 2, but the guy literally, like, disappeared from pro play for a little bit. At least in the LPL, I would say.
Yeah.
So...
I would say pretty globally as well. Ooh, missing a little bit caught here. Going to have to flash out of that Cataclysm. Monki says thank you very much.
Cool. All right. So get the flash. That'll be important for the dragon that spawns in 2.5 minutes. Still waiting. Like, Sivir, 2 items, very strong. Goes for the Storm Razor for the movement speed. Karis just jumps right into invisibility and just gets right out. So Temper Fate will be up before this next objective, but we are having some pretty important item spikes come through for both teams. More importantly, I would say for WE, and it's, I think, right on time for this dragon in 2 minutes.
Really going to need to have that power for what is very likely going to be a fight that determines the course of the rest of this game, if not outright decides it. BuLLDog has to play safe with Monki approaching him here. Vision from the Scryers, that missing hit definitely giving them a little bit of knowledge about what is going on. They are going to try to take this tower, take every little bit of map advantage they can get around this bottom side, leading up to the spawn in 90 seconds. Good pickup here for Karis, gets himself a little bit of additional gold as well. They just want to make sure that they are fully spent, fully bought, and ready to tussle.
Compliment that I would give WE is, I think Monki has done a much better job in comparison to his opponent this series of escorting and applying pressure onto side lanes so that his laners can get gold on turrets. Like, we've seen it most often with Karis because of the mid lane pool and how they tend to interact as a 2v2, but I don't think Croco has really escorted most of his laners to pick up turrets and give them the pressure to walk up without fear. Oh, that's a goal. Oh, here we go.
Punch popped about, already trying to flash away, but he is going to get collapsed on in an instant. 1x sends all over him, and a quick pick made by LNG with 35 seconds to go before the dragon.
I was like, wait a minute, his Edge of Night procced. Is that going to be a Destiny Gate? BuLLDog lands in mid, okay. We're 30 seconds before this dragon, though, and they won't be able to spend any of this gold. This needs to be them taking control of mid lane and then moving into the dragon. It'll be a quick pick and his flash, but About can just teleport, whether that's to the mid lane or to this dragon now.
Yeah, About having the TP going to be a big boon for him there. Yeah, like you said, they're not going to be able to cash out. They also, those Tangle Barbs, by just 1 little second where 1xN can't go and pop the Crystalline Overgrowth, he doesn't get the mid lane turret for that reason. That has some spillover effects. Tempered Fate comes through, both junglers caught inside. Monki going to be the focus, flashes away before the gold card can get thrown, and Karis has arrived on the side. Lands a quick weirding to get a bit of damage on across, and About is here. He's arrived with a teleport. Erha at his back. Over the wall comes Croco, looking for the engage, gets the knockup, uses the Titanic Hydra for the quick Q, but it just holds Monki still for about a second. TP now from the likes of Cube to be able to rejoin the rest of his team. It's going to be a full 5-on-5 WE with the soul to fight for. Karis coming around on the flank. Big threat with that between worlds when he does decide to pop it. Sheer doing his best to try to mark him as Cube starts off onto the dragon. BuLLDog trying to step up, find somebody to gold card, but WE back away in time. Sheer getting in there to try to start brawling away, try to start stacking up that passive, so he is going to be able to res back up. Boosts a lot of HP for not much payoff, but Erha is caught by the gold card. Big between worlds across the rest of the team. Sheer trying to fight his way on out, cannot get About taken down. Cube now trying to force out 1xN, is going to be able to do that for the time being. dying and is going to be able to stay alive thanks to that Sterix pop. Karis comes in, stealthed on the side, focusing on 1xN, trying to run his way out, but is cold like the meek that he is. Double kill to Cube, 4 kills to WE for just Erha as they secure Dragon's Soul.
Dude, Cube is smurfing in this game. This Renekton is way too beefy. The Black Cleaver and also having the Sterix Gauge. He is too impossible to kill with the Sterix Gauge and his ultimate. And we'll look back at this fight. There was just too many timers. I mean, Varus has his ult up again. Nico has her ultimate. We don't have the On the Hunt from Sivir, and there's no Tempered Fate from the Bard. It's good damage from BuLLDog, but it's on to Erha. And then we get to see the solo laners here split the fight. The Between Worlds from Karis, and then Cube as well. BuLLDog and 1xN can do no damage here. And it's cool, you're going on to these carries here as Croco, but I just don't think it is enough. It is a very, very strong fight from WE that grants them the soul and potentially gets them up to match point here in the series.
It's another spell shield that doesn't do anything from 1xN, not blocking an ability, not getting the healing back, and he dies to Cube for it. It's tough to do against a Renekton when all these abilities are instant cast, but it makes the difference in that fight. And like you said, Cube smurfing this fight and this series. Already had such a great Scion game in game number 1, now coming out with a vengeance on the Renekton. And WE are working on this Baron. LNG have got to get themselves together to be able to come and deal with this one. Destiny already used. Hook back in on a Cube. He might be cut a bit away from the rest of the team, but Monki's coming over the wall. There's the Between Worlds. Everybody coming back to join up with the team. Both carries caught up in the Tempered Fate. Will it be enough time for 1xN to turn the fight back around? He doesn't have the Summoner spells. He's caught by the damage of Karis, and WE are able to clean up members once again. Still, the fight's not over. LNG with members left trying to fight their way out of here. Sheer going to be able to jump up and be able to take down Erha, but it's going to be at the cost of another member. WE winning out in back-to-back engagements.
I saw him missing on my screen, and then his namesake came true. He was just gone. Mystery. No Baron, so if you're LNG, you're saying thank God for that, but you press tab, and the game is just getting worse and worse with every single fight. It's going to have to get better, though, because 1xN finishes a 3rd item. I thought BuLLDog could have came in with his ultimate. He was moving from bot lane into mid. They get some damage down, but like I said during the draft, if you're not having a winning position in the game, the Twisted Fate is just not going to have that damage threat. I mean, he's at 3 items now. This is now kind of the pinnacle. Are we going to see him have any real threat onto a Karis or an About? I'm a little less kind of charitable to that.
And it's the WE Classic. We haven't gotten to see it for so much as Split 2, but they fall behind thousands of gold in the first 15 to 20 minutes. And then they fight their way back in through superior team fighting and through objective control in the earlier stages that they sacrificed the gold to be able to obtain. They continue to make this their style, and you know what? As much as they struggle in Group Ascend when they're fighting up against Nirvana teams, it is working.
Well, gonna go for another Baron. They can have Bard Ultimate delay this. Twisted Fate is back in mid. Sivir has to walk through. There's the Tempered Fate. Cube is taking chip damage, but it's nothing here.
Chains of Corruption went wide there. Sheer able to dodge out. Croco and BuLLDog on the side, trying to get a little bit of poke damage. Between Worlds connects only onto Croco. He's able to knock them back away. 1xN stuck inside the Cataclysm, and WE descend like sharks. They tear him apart, but it's at the cost of 2 members of WE. They've lost both carries on the backside. Sheer making his presence felt on the Zahen, able to claim 2 right off the back, and now Erha caught away with the rest of his team. Cube gonna try to fight his way out, but he's got 4 members on top of him. Does he have the damage on the Renekton? Does he have the healing? Sent back into the death chamber and sent packing. Erha and Monki now, the last 2 standing. LNG have been able to push them out, and this is a team fight win for LNG. 1xN was focused down right at the start, but they win it 3-for-1 anyway.
They got the flash out from almost everybody here on WE. And like you had said, it is a very big win here for LNG. They continue to stop this Baron. Sheer, I think, is just kind of a similar raid boss to Cube, but at least for Cube, we've seen him in this game already. That instant turn, that snap from WE onto 1xN is good. But like you had mentioned, I mean, Sheer, he kills Karis. We're seeing Croco also stop About. They're getting completely left to the wayside. And this makes this game a lot more interesting. The game is only about a 3,000 gold diff here for WE. And they have the Dragon Soul, but it should feel like a lot more. Maybe LNG have different ways they can win this that are not only their AD carry.
They do have a secondary carry in the Zahen, and the WE carries are left in that team fight saying WTF to Xinjiaos, as they're all over them between Sheer and Croco. Nowhere to go. And if they continue to have team fights like that, I mean, that was pretty pitiful from Karis. Doesn't get anything done with the ultimate, doesn't find any meaningful targets to burst out, and when he's got one of these two spear guys in his face, there's just nothing he can do. So if they're able to lean on Sheer, if he's able to scale up into this game, he could be a big player for LNG.
Could be a massive carry, and you know, we have avoided talking about top lane for most of the series because throughout this year, neither of them have been very pivotal to their team's success. They're obviously there when they need them for some big team fights. Cube has been a really, really strong tank player, and Sheer given a lot of individual carries with some agency and some split pushing, but has never had massive, massive team fights outside of maybe like a Rumble and a Gnar. So to see him now on this Zahen actually be a really strong piece for them to play around is different than what we've seen all year long.
Elder's up, and WE are trying to rip it. Note that the flash is back up for 1xN. Can they put themselves together a team fight? On the hunt is Pop to be able to get the team into the fight. Elder's still pretty healthy. Destiny popped as well, so they're able to join up with the Twisted Fate. Poke damage starting to come on through from both of these carries. So far, only Monki really feeling the pain. Missing, falling lower and lower. Karis going to have an opportunity to go for a one-shot here. They don't know how close he is. Fires off the weirding, misses it, and Missing will be able to stay alive, and now the trigger has been pulled. Sheer going to pull Cube back into the fight. He's going to get hit by the gold card. 1xN is now ready to layer in the damage. Dove onto by Monki, able to flash back away, creates a space, but Cube finds him with the Ruthless Predator, and down goes 1xN. But Sheer has found his counterpart on the other side of the map, and now Sheer is ready to take this fight the rest of the way through. Monki on top of the dragon. He is the only jungler able to say so, but Croco able to join back over on the opposite side as Sheer takes down another carry. BuLLDog waiting for Monki over on the other side, going to look for the execute. Stays alive with the Sundered Sky for now, but this is going to be Elder going the way of LNG as Croco secures it. Monki and Cube now on the wrong side of the map. TP being channeled. That's the Zahen looking to cut off their remaining escape routes, and Elder ready to breathe death on the remaining members of WE as they claim Cube.
Are WE about to lose with a Chemtech soul gained at 25 minutes? What an insane game here for them. LNG are just finding teamfight after teamfight, and they're going for 1xN. Both teams are trading their backlines, but the top side of LNG is just so much more relevant in comparison to Team WE's. If they had found this pick on the Missing, maybe the numbers advantage is enough. We will never know. That is not a reality we live in. Sheer Zahen is near untouchable and is just having much more impact, more meaningful impact on the rest of this game here.
And I'm going to say it, if they find the pick on a Missing, this is a totally different fight because there's no Tempered Fate here, which costs them both of their carries. That miss from Karis just decided the Elder fight for WE. Now LNG are going to get themselves the Baron. They've got both epic buffs and are looking to push into WE's base.
We were saying with Dragon Soul that would have been enough for WE to win this game. We said at 30 minutes, if they are within 3,000 gold of their opponents, they're happy with the state. They got to that point now here, Gordo. They take a top tier 2 and they can go for even more. This is such an impressive performance coming in from the solo lanes and the top side of LNG. Can they continue? What else can we grab? They still have the Elder for another minute.
Who would have pegged Sheer versus Cube as this major battle in game number 3, but that is what it has turned into. Cube did so much in that last fight, but it just was not enough. And now he's getting pushed back. The Elder damage is insane, and the consistent ability to poke from the Sivir and this Twisted Fate are pushing them farther and farther back. Top lane inhibitor turret going to fall. Top lane inhibitor soon to follow. Is Monki going to try to pull the trigger here with the Elder still up? It just feels completely impossible. Erha's looking for a big flank. Gonna try to save the game on a massive Pop Blossom spotted by the Scryer's Ward, and that might thwart this effort. Top inhibitor or top Nexus turret taking some damage.
Okay, Elder's about to fall off. They need to wait.
Oh, there's
About's
the triple
dead.
About! Just gets one shot by Croco. The Titanic Hydra combo pays off yet again for the Jinzhou. Now Monki trying to look to get onto BuLLDog, going to throw on down the Cataclysm, but these two members, they're dumping everything into a Twisted Fate. 1xN going to drop on down to Karis, but Croco has been hitting the Nexus the whole damn time. LNG, go to match point.
Oh my god. Top side of this LNG team absolutely carrying this game, and now doing what was not possible last time, getting themselves to match point against WE.
Already improving on the split 1 matchup between these two teams, and WE, it looked like they had pulled it back when they secured that Dragon Soul, when they secured that last team fight win. It felt like WE were gonna be able to take this game the rest of the way, but mishaps in 2 team fights back-to-back and unable to deal with Sheer's pocket Zehen that he busts out with the last pick of the draft.
That was crazy, and it was like every single game we were like, or every single part of this game we were like, okay, Cube is actually massive, right? Like Cube is going in, they're deleting 1xN, and almost like our broadcast, we were also focused on 1xN. He's like, he's the carry. He is the guy that is going to bring this team to ascend. But I think so far in this game, at the very least, we have seen that Croco and Sheer are really pulling their weight, and I think more importantly, bringing it home when it matters, where we didn't see them in this last time in play-ins.
Absolutely here. Doing such an excellent job of being able to isolate the carries in fight after fight. And WE, understanding the assignment of going for Sivir over and over again, but not being able to deal with that secondary carry is what makes the big difference. Really, really good stuff out of the likes of LNG. One more, and they will be able to make good on the promise of this roster and secure Group Ascend for Split 3.
I just remember at the very end of Game 1, we were like, wow, WE, good start to the series. Is this going to happen again? And it was like, okay, well, what happens if LNG just win the next 3? We're going to say, oh, we were never worried, you know? Like, tisk tisk, you know, dust our hands, and we're done with the series. We'll go on to IGTT after this. But LNG putting in one hell of a performance here. It was a weird game, for sure. 100% a very weird game with how it was going. Both AD carries were getting blown up, and basically was who had a better top laner. And Zehen, maybe it is just release date diff. Maybe it is my champion was released a lot earlier or a lot closer to today's date than yours as Renekton.
And maybe a bit of poetry that a weird game, largely decided by a missed weirding from Karis, as he jumps over that blue wall, cannot secure the pick onto missing. A lot happens in a game of League of Legends. About Erha got 1v2 doubled by 1xN right at the start of the game. That also cost Croco his 100% KP, by the way. We didn't call that out at the time, but that was the moment. It fell away, but
damn,
it's hard to put this all onto Karis's shoulders, but I mean, what a big miss there to end up costing him the Elder fight.
And it's a small thing, right? You're thinking, okay, it's just Bard, right? Like, it's Bard at 1% HP, but that ultimate is incredibly impactful. And this was just a game that came down to inches, which we talk about for all of our Group Ascend teams. Having this many reps usually means that those like small percentage plays you're going to more often be able to replicate, at least from your games that you played through the regular season. LNG showed, I think, a lot of poise, and more importantly, just outplayed in a lot of scenarios, specifically Sheer constantly using this ultimate to buffer so many important spells from WE.
Yep. Really, really great stuff from Sheer. Clearly exhibiting some mastery on this Zehen that he had not shown us all season long. This was his first Zehen game of the year, and therefore probably his first Zehen game ever. Maybe he got one in there at the very end of 2025. I don't want to make any assumptions, but very good stuff from him. Very good stuff from Croco as well. I love this Titanic Hydra pickup. We talked about it right when it happened, and it paid off big time in multiple team fights where he was able to get in there, get the really quick 3-talon strike off, and find the knock-up and make the pick.
So I'm looking. Sheer did play a ton of Zehen, but it was during Demacia Cup. He is
doesn't count.
Exactly. He's 4-2 on the champion in Demacia Cup. and got to play a lot of it. A lot of it was versus Scion. That's why I was kind of surprised to see this champion disappear, but we got rid of the winter map, and apparently Zehen went into hibernation alongside that rift, so.
Got some little tap-down nerfs in there as well. But yeah, I agree. I mean, in matchups like the Scion, matchups where you can just scale, I definitely do like the champ, but definitely can look a little silly if you don't manage to stack up the passive. But I think Sheer playing with his limits very well this game, really, you know, either choosing fights where he's not going to run out of health or choosing fights where he is going to get the full passive bar. Inability to make that decision. So you're right there. That's Titanic Hydra 3 Talent Strike right there.
It also is Elder Dragon at the same time.
It's also Elder Dragon. It's also Elder Dragon.
You're right. 99% of that work is 3 Talent Strike plus Titanic. So great job from them, and I gotta say,
from them, the item and the ability.
Yes, we got to give them their props. Riot has put a lot of OP items into the game. We were already complaining about Sundered Sky earlier on. I was kind of surprised to not see Dusk and Dawn here for the Xin Zhao, but regardless, a through line that we've seen consistently now is, while About has been very safe, I think he's also been just consistently outperformed by 1xN in almost all of these games so far.
Yeah, going to really need to kind of show a little bit more of that game number 1 form. I think his Ezreal gameplay there was very, very clean. And like we've been saying, you know, they've been picking him safe lanes, and I think that pool is starting to dry up a little bit. I really want to see how things are going to look in this bot lane for game number 4. It's been such a big point of emphasis for us throughout the entire series. And Team WE, it's a tough ask, but they're going to need About and Erha to be able to step up and fight back if they want to keep their spot and group ascend for Split 3.
Just want to talk about the experience differential between these two. We're going to see our player of the game coming. Croco, makes sense. 1xN made his debut in 2023 of summer here in the LPL about this year. He has, if I remember correctly, he has 4 best of 5s under his belt for About. This will be his 5th, so there's a lot of learning moments he has to do. A lot of learning moments he had to do during the regular season, and hopefully we'll see more of that here, and hopefully we'll see WE kind of fight back. They're now match point here for LNG.
Absolutely is. We're going to throw it to a quick break here while we get set up for game number 4. Both teams going to get themselves a quick breather, a quick chat with the coaches, and we'll get back into draft for what could be the final game of the series if LNG has it the way that they want it, or will WE force us to game number 5? We'll find out after this break. We'll see you all on the other side.